The tidal surge which hit the east coast of Britain has been described as the most serious for 60 years. Thousands were forced to abandon their homes as tides in parts of the North Sea reached higher levels than the devastating floods of 1953. Floodwaters have receded in many areas, but authorities are warning that high tides later on Friday could cause further damage. 2 people died in Thursday's storms, but the weather is now easing. The Environment Agency said 800,000 homes had been protected by flood defenses and better forecasting had given people vital time to prepare. The agency added, significant flooding along the east coast of England is expected to continue today, Friday, as the most serious coastal tidal surge for over 60 years will continue to affect communities. Environment Secretary Owen Paterson chaired a meeting of the government's Cobra committee to discuss the floods. Speaking afterwards, he said the situation was not over and asked the public to follow advice from police and other authorities. Conditions like this only occur in some places every 500 years, he said. He added, and I would really pay tribute to all of those who have been working through the night. Before dawn, the Environment Agency, which covers England and Wales, had more than 50 severe flood warnings in place, but that number has fallen steadily during the day. The agency said some flood defenses had been breached but repairs were underway. A second tidal surge, which the agency said should be 1 meter, 3 feet, lower, has already passed Scotland and the far north of England and should reach Great Yarmouth at about 11 o'clock GMT and London at 1500 hours. Rescue teams have been working through the night in many areas. In other developments, 9,000 people have evacuated their homes in Norfolk, mainly in the Great Yarmouth area, where at least 26 properties have been flooded. 5 beach chalets collapsed in Hemsby, Norfolk, where a lifeboat station has been washed into the sea. Soldiers have helped the flood prevention effort in Essex and Norfolk. A mother and baby were among those rescued from flooding in Essex. The Environment Agency said 400 homes in the Humber region were affected by floodwater on Thursday night. In Kent, more than 500 properties were evacuated in areas including Sandwich, Seas Altar, Faversham and the Medway towns. Homes were flooded in Boston, Lincolnshire, and 223 in the county spent Thursday night in rest centers by the tidal surge. Transport connections are expected to return to normal in much of Scotland in the wake of the storm. Trains across Scotland were stopped on Thursday, but ScotRail said it's expected to run services as scheduled from the start of Friday. The Scottish Environment Protection Agency has now lifted its flood warnings, but the Met Office has yellow weather warnings in place for snow in northern Scotland until 12 o'clock GMT. There are also yellow warnings for ice in parts of Northern Ireland and northwest England, and wind on England's east coast. Yellow warnings mean be aware. High tides in parts of North Wales battered by storms hours earlier passed without further major flooding. Lifeboat crews from South Wales were drafted in to help colleagues in the north amid fears coastal areas could be hit for a second time in 24 hours. But emergency services have reported a mostly quiet Friday morning so far. Northern Ireland Electricity, NI, said it had restored power to most customers after strong winds caused disruption to supplies. BBC weather presenter Matt Taylor explained that storm surges begin when a rising area of low pressure takes pressure off the surface of the sea, allowing it to bulge upwards. Then, as that pulls away, you get the very strong winds on the back edge of the low pressure, and then that shoves that bulge of high sea levels down through the North Sea, he said. Conditions across the UK are expected to have improved by the weekend,